Hi there. I wanted to show you what the Father showed me today. Today is January 16th, 2018. And I've really been pondering this whole idea of having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. So I went and I looked that up. That's in 2 Timothy 3. And it's describing basically what people will be like in the end times. And oftentimes we think that it's referring to the general public, the unbelieving public. But I get a sense from some of these things that Paul said that he's actually referring to the church at large. Maybe I should say Christendom. Let me read it for you. 2 Timothy 3, we'll start at verse 2. It says, "For men shall be lovers of self, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, thankless, wrongdoers, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, fierce, haters of good, betrayers, reckless, puffed up, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of Elohim, having a form of reverence or godliness, but denying the power." And then Timothy is warned, turn away from these kind of guys. And I saw a couple of different things. One, a difference between these folks and the aspirations that Paul has for Timothy to be of a higher caliber. You know, he says here that these people, they're going to be lovers of pleasure. They're going to be lovers of a comfortable life. But then later, in contrast, he says, hey, I want you to know, verse 12, "And indeed, all those wanting to live reverently in Mashiach Yeshua, they will be persecuted." So you see a real difference right there, a shift between these folks who are denying the power of godliness, the power of reverence, and these folks over here who want to pursue it, who want to have that kind of a life. And so I really, really thought about that as having a form of godliness. I mean, don't we see that everywhere right now in the American world of Christianity? We see these people who are just after that comfortable life, and they're after that that favor. Oh, look at me, I'm a deacon in the church, or I've been with this church for years and years, and I'm a well-known commodity here, kind of thing. And how they have this form, they have this reputation, but they're denying. It's like they don't even know that there is a power, this power that raises the dead, this power that can speak to you and me when we're in that humble place before Him, when we're just real with Him. We can enter into something that just is beyond anything that our vain imaginations can come up with. And I always go back to my anchor verse here, which is Philippians 3, to know verses 10 and 11. "To know Him and the power of His resurrection and the fellowship of His sufferings, being conformed to His death, if somehow I might attain to the resurrection out from the dead." And that word, I think I've explained that before. That's exanastasis, which means, in a nutshell, a resurrection out from among the resurrected. That's the bride, folks. But I wanted to share that this, these kind of folks, we see them everywhere. And we see people who, I think they meant well in the beginning to live a godly life, to put up in their lives these structures and rituals because they wanted to protect their Christian faith. They wanted to have a Christian reputation or a Christian theology. And so they put up these things in their lives, like a good Christian does this, a good Christian doesn't do that. And they do these things thinking that they're doing God a favor, thinking that they're setting up their life to pursue godliness. But the difference really is this willingness. It says over here in 2 Timothy 2, you then, my son, verse 1, you then, my son, be strong in the favor or the grace or the unmerited favor that is in Mashiach Yeshua. That's the element that we're missing. That's the key to that resurrection power, is knowing that none of that stuff gets us there. It's when we humbly choose to have a relationship with Yeshua, when we humbly come to him and say, if not for the grace of God, there'd be nothing here. It'd be all just posture. Anyway, so I was really, really blessed by that. And I really want to convey the point that anything that we set up in and of ourselves, anything that we do on a regular basis, if we're doing it not because God led us to that, but because we think we're doing it for God, whether it's celebrating or not a certain day, or going to worship or not on a certain day, or wearing head coverings, or keeping the Sabbath, or circumcision, whatever it is, if we're doing it because we think that this is going to get us there, that this is what a godly person looks like, we need to check that. I'm not saying those things are bad, but we need to check and make sure that we're being led by the Holy Spirit and not by our own will, our own desire to be there, because we're missing the power, that resurrection power. And that is something that is real and tangible. It is life. It is vibrant. To have that relationship with Yeshua, oh my, that is what this Christian walk is all about. Anyway, I was blessed. I wanted to bless you. I'll see you later.